When Bill Russell retired in 1969, the Celtics were left with a huge void at center as they tried to replace the man who had led Boston to 11 titles. After missing the playoffs the following season, they drafted a forward from Florida State named Dave Cowens. Though he wasn't well known, he was ready to make an impact in the NBA.
I remember calling some of the guys in Harlem because Dave Cowens had played in the record league, and they were telling me, hey, Boston just got lucky. You guys got a heck of a player because he's playing down here and he's kicking a lot of behind.
He was a tremendously gifted athlete for a guy his size at 6'8", but he had a ferocity about him that he brought to the game that intimidated people. And because of that fact, I made him the center of the ball club.
At the time, they said, you know, is Dave Cowens going to be able to fill Bill Russell's shoes? And right there, from the first time that I heard that comment, I said, hey, there's nobody that's going to be able to fill his shoes.
Dave was unique in that the bigger the challenge, the harder he worked. By being a center in the league at 6'8", everyone was, you know, a little bigger than he was. And I don't think he would have become a very good power forward because the challenge wasn't there.
And Cowens rose to the challenge of playing center, overcoming his lack of size with his tenacity and all-around skills. He was named Co-Rookie of the Year in 1971, an All-Star in '72, and MVP of the league in 1973. And despite the size disparity that seemed to favor opponents, the Celtics were able to turn it to their advantage.
We developed a style of play where the 7-foot guy had a guy to try and come out and play like a 6'8" guy, which they didn't want to do. The Will Chamberlains, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars never wanted to go out of the paint to play defense.
Cowens has another opener and hits this one.
Don Chaney gets the ball over to Stakem to Cowens, who heads to the basket. It goes.
Dave Cowens, by far, is the most active center who's ever played in the NBA. He runs, he jumps, he's eager, he hustles, and he creates a lot of problems.
Dave Cowens comes in on a steal. He'll take it in.
Big Red.
I'd run him, and I'd put the body on him and sacrifice what I had to try to win the ball games.
Dave would be in traction the night of the basketball game and then come and play and go back to the hospital back in traction. A guy like that, you have to love to play with.
In just his third season, the brilliant play of Cowens helped Boston return to the NBA Finals against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the Milwaukee Bucks. And like Bill Russell before him, Dave displayed an all-out commitment to winning as he tried to bring the championship back to Boston.
Oscar has Cowens on him. Cowens on the floor. What a play by Dave Cowens!
With the series on the line in Game 7, it was Cowens who carried the Celtics with 28 points and 14 rebounds, and the dynasty was reborn.
The Boston Celtics return to the glory days with their first NBA championship since the Bill Russell era ended in 1969.
In the 1976 finals against the Phoenix Suns, Cowens once again led the way as the Celtics captured their second championship in 3 years.
David, congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Believe me. I only had this feeling once before, and it hasn't diminished any the second time.
The great guards and forwards complain that centers aren't supposed to play this kind of defense. Recognize him. He's one of the toughest to ever play the game.
He just played with reckless abandon, and it probably shortened his career a little bit because the body ends up breaking down when you dive on the floor like that and you're taking charges and you're banging guys.
At times, you know, you would have to settle him down, say, hey, Dave, you know, we need you. Let's not fly off the handle here.
But in the '77 season, the fiery Cowens seemed to have lost his spark. He had seen some key players depart from the Celtics championship team, including his good friend, Paul Silas. Saying the game wasn't fun anymore, Dave walked away, just 8 games into the season.
For a while there, I didn't care whether we won or lost, and I thought that was wrong. And I just lost my zest for it.
I think it was really more burnout than anything else, that his intensity level, I mean, it was so strong, and that he had given so much.
After recapturing his enthusiasm, Cowens rejoined the Celtics 30 games later. He played 3 more years in Boston, and after a brief retirement, finished his career with the Bucks in 1983. Dave averaged 18 points and 14 rebounds a game during his career. But beyond the numbers, It was the relentless way he played the game that will be his lasting legacy.
It's like being in a fight, you know, and the guy who's in the best shape a lot of times wins, even though maybe they're not quite as skilled as the other guy. But they can take more, and they just keep giving it out and giving it out until eventually you wear people down.
There isn't a Celtic that would do anything more than Cowens to win.
Do it for no pay, or do it with pay, and do it in front of 70,000 people, or do it in front of a practice audience. Just being able to compete, that was the most fun.
Madison Square Garden in New York City, ABC Sports brings you live and in color Game 4 of the Eastern Conference NBA Championship round, with the New York Knicks leading the Boston Celtics 2-1 in their best of series for the Eastern title. Well, good afternoon from Madison Square Garden. I'm Keith Jackson. I'll be calling the play for you this afternoon. The starting lineups, and you'll note there are 2 changes, one for New York and one for Boston. Boston may suffer the greatest loss in that John Havlicek, having the greatest year of his career, is on the bench in street clothes, can't play. Earl Monroe being held out with a bruised hip. Dean Meminger replaces him at guard. Don Nelson starts for Boston at forward. The game is underway. Boston wearing the dark green, the dark colors. Nelson is number 19. JoJo White is number 10 as the Celtics go for the first shot of the ball game. Cheney is number 12. Cowens number 18, and he missed the shot. The rebound put up, and it's taken off in the hands of Dave DeBusschere, number 22 for the white-clad New Yorkers. Walt Frazier is number 10. Meminger is number 7. Bradley 24, and Willis Reed at center, number 19. Here's Bradley working against Silas. So New York breaks on top. The Knicks got the big win Friday night, 98-91 at Boston. That was the one they wanted. They lead 2-1. And inside, we've got a foul call by Jake O'Donnell as they go crowding into the middle, and somebody is holding. It is Meminger, number 7. So let's get a comment from Bill Russell on the role of Meminger as a starter.
Well, you know, he does a different thing than Earl Monroe, but he's very effective, and he scores very well for a guy that has the shots that he has. He doesn't shoot very well from outside off. So he's always looking for an opportunity to go inside. But another key thing is the starter, Don Nelson, for the Celtics. Don does not like to start ball games. He likes to come off the bench. And sometimes he doesn't play as well when he starts as he does ordinarily when he comes off the bench.
DeBusschere hits from the top of the key and breaks the tie. New York leads it 4-2, and here comes Cheney. Boston trying to move it in a hurry. Silas goes in the middle. It comes off no good. Rebound is up, and it'll go in there. Give it to Silas. Paul Silas hammering the board.
Now, Paul Silas will have to score a lot of points today in order for the Celtics to win. We're going to get a lot of scoring out of him and a lot of scoring out of Don Cheney.
DeBusschere, who had a hot hand in Boston, misses. Rebound goes. Stolen by Frazier. Give it a Reed. Cowens broke it up. Great play by Cowens. Great patience by him. He held his position, and Boston comes up with the ball. We're tied at 4 as Cheney works it at the top of the key for Boston. Take it in. We've got a foul before the shot. Offensive foul.
No, he turned it over.
Turned it over, did he? Took it over and rolled it over, took the hand from the bottom, brought it over the top. So I guess that's what they call. There were a couple of guys who collided in the middle of that lane, though. It could have gone the other way. It was a whack, whack. Here comes Meminger on the baseline, spoiled by Silas. Boston trying to run it.
They're going to have to force the run. And again, I hate to keep saying the same thing, but they have to force the run, not necessarily fast. They would have to run up before the Knicks have a chance to set up defensively.
We got the first technical foul of the afternoon on Tom Heinsohn, Jake O'Donnell. Tommy was giving it to Jake pretty good as Jake came down the court, and he just tapped him with it.
No, Tommy told Jake, did you know that the circus is in the garden when the basketball games aren't going on? And it's a wonderful world out there, the circus. You know, it's a pretty good circus, and you ought to see it sometimes.
Well, he's been doing a lot of talking during the series because that's the third technical that he's been awarded. Here comes Frazier now, working against Cheney. Meminger comes to help. DeBusschere, Bradley, Reed inside. Bradley shot out of the corner off the iron. Cowens gets another rebound. That's 2 for him off the defensive board. Go inside to Cowens against Reed. Ball stolen by Meminger. Cheney trying to get back to protect. And New York brings it out to a 5-point lead. Meminger scored 2 buckets. He's made his presence felt already.
Phil's got to call timeout and regroup real quick.
All right, Boston has the ball. New York leading 13-8. Nelson puts it up. Comes off. Rebound, Cowens.
Paul Silas kept it alive. That's what the good rebounds do. If they can't get it, they keep it up there.
4 points, Cowens, 2 out of 6 from the field. 13-10, New York by 3. 6:10 to go, first quarter. Neminger is 7. Bradley is 24. To Busher. Nelson chases him. Dave shot short. Frazier finally controls it. Almost loses to Nelson. Bradley picks it up. Frazier gets away from Nelson. New York's lead back to 5. White on the run. JoJo has a shot over Willis. Missed the shot. Rebound. Tough action inside on a loose ball foul call. 5.5 minutes to go, first quarter. Cowens turns to the baseline, misses the shot. He was wide open. Willis had backed off, and he hurried the shot. And New York leads by 5. Impossible effort by Walt Frazier, but Meminger tips it in. The littlest guy on the court knocked it in. 3 out of 4 from the field, 6 points for Meminger, 7-point New York lead. Cowens has another opener and hits this one.
Next play, 17-12.
Cowens, 3 out of 8. It's important to watch how he's scoring from the floor because he's going to have to do a lot of it today if Boston is to have any success against the way the New York Knicks have played over the last 3 ball games. Bradley has the ball deflected by Cowens, but it's picked up by Reed, and we've got a foul called. It'll be on JoJo White of Boston, his first personal. Cowens posted high. Wheels, he'll go to work against Willis. And we've got a foul. Foul on Reed. First personal on Reed. Take another look, isolated on Dave Cowens. The quickness of this big guy from Florida State.
I know that play. That play, the big guy gets to shoot. See, that play, they clear all one side of the court. And he has that whole side to work on the other center.
He misses the free throw. He had 2 coming, averaging better than 20 points during the season. Just under 19 during the playoff. 1 more. Now the penalty. He had 3 to make 2 since that was the 5th team foul on New York. Boston has only 3 team fouls, and it's now a 21-18 ball game with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Now what Meminger does for the Knicks, besides the fact he penetrates very well, is that he takes some of the ball handling off of Walt Frazier's shoulders so that Walt can do some of the other things that he does so well. He doesn't have to handle the ball as much as he does when Monroe's playing, although Monroe's a good ball handler too, but when they're out there, they use Monroe primarily as a shooter rather than as a playmaker.
JoJo White with 6 points, 3 out of 7 off that steal and break. Walt Frazier running the clock down with 7 seconds to go. Timer's turned off. Frazier almost loses 1 second out of bounds.
That's the end of the first quarter, and the score, the New York...
And the end of the first quarter of play, and let's reflect back on that pass play now. Watch Cheney here go behind the back as he looks. Feeds it to the trail man for the break. JoJo White. JoJo stopping and got the basket. Nice play by Cheney at the end of the quarter. The score after 1, 25-20, New York by 5 over the Boston Celtics.
1973 was Dave Cowens' 3rd season in the NBA, and it turned out to be his best. He averaged 20.5 points and 16 rebounds while being named the league's most valuable player. Cowens and the Celtics were favored in the playoffs, but had their problems against the Knicks, who had a secret weapon. Now, long before Spike Lee came along, Dancing Harry was a fixture at Knicks games in the 70s, casting a spell on opponents.
There's Dancing Harry. Here we go to the second quarter. It's Cowens and Reed at the middle, and Cowens tips it, goes to Cheney in the backcourt with JoJo White. Silas, Cowens, and Nelson back in the lineup on the front line for the Boston Celtics. Memminger and Frazier stay at guard for New York. Same starting lineup. DeBusschere, Bradley, and Reed on the front line for New York. Cowens looks at Nelson, going to go to work himself, gets Reed up in the air and makes the bucket. And it's 25-22 ball game, and Cowens now is 4 out of 10. He totals 10 points in the game, and Boston trails by 3. Nelson is checking DeBusschere. Looks to me like Dave is the guy that Boston is really going to try to work on today. DeBusschere saves it. Goes against Nelson, gives it away to Bradley, and it was an unexpected pass, hard pass, and Bill couldn't handle it. Nelson against Bradley. 6 turnovers, New York. Cheney against Frazier. Shot won't go. Reed high, way up in the air to get that one. There are times when Willis looks like he's down. 6th rebound in a ball game for him so far today. We're in the second quarter. New York with the ball, leading by 3, 25-22. Give it to Reed. Willis is underneath. Cowens can't stop the shot. 4 points for Willis. He's 2 out of 4 from the field, and New York goes back to a 5-point lead. Now Boston's forced into that, posting Cowens high. Let Dave drive against Reed. Willis cuts him off. Here's Silas open outside.
That was not a good shot. Nope. I don't think he worked that many seconds to end up with a shot like that. Now, that was the same play that he got 2 free throws on before. So they cleared one side for him to work on the center.
Cheney ahead to White. White was home free. New York steals it. So Boston threw away a great scoring opportunity there. Now they're down by 7. So let's see now. Boston has JoJo White matched up against Walt Frazier. Dave Cowens comes in on a steal. He'll take it in. And it's 29-24, 5 points. New York leading.
Thrown the ball away an awful lot already the first quarter, the first good part of the game already, and that's very high for them. Right. It's early in the game that they've thrown the ball away just too many times.
Nelson against DeBusschere. White against Frazier. Cowens against Jerry Lucas, who's in the lineup, and Frazier drops it in softly. Here comes Boston up now with Westfall handling the ball. Frazier picks him up. Cowens is outside over Lucas. And Boston's back in the game at 31-26. Cowens now has hit 3 in a row. JoJo against Frazier. They post Cowens. Here's Nelson, open. Dodd hits it, and Boston trails by 1 with 6:40 to go, first half. DeBusschere. Here's Jackson against Kaburski. Jackson is 12-12 in the last 3 games from the field. He's getting all kinds of headlines in this part of the country. Cowens going to hook it. Rebound inside Kaburski. Good shot. Goes down hard. No foul. And it's a 1-point New York lead at 33-32 with 6 minutes to go in the first half. Celtics right now are playing better defense than they've played in quite a while. Here's Kaburski on the rebound as Frazier put it up, spun it off. Kaburski going to shoot it, forced the shot, doesn't get an answer. The rebound comes off to DeBusschere. Here goes Jackson. Foul Cowens. Take another look. Jackson beefing on the call. Cowens, competitor that he is, would never give up on the try.
You know, it's interesting that of the Celtics starting 5 from that game, 3 of them are current NBA head coaches. Dave Cowens in Golden State, Don Nelson in Dallas, and Paul Silas in Charlotte.
3-point lead now for the New York Knicks, 35-32. Here it goes to Cowens against Reed. Good play. Cowens now totals 16 points in the ball game. It's up the shooting average to 7 out of 14 from the field. Meminger against Westfall. Now, DeBuscher has Westfall on the switch, but gives it away to Frazier. Off Reed screen. Frazier misses. Cowens way into the air for that rebound. He has 5. Here comes JoJo for Boston. Little pause in his dribble, puts it up. Barnett and Bradley and Frazier all in that backcourt to bring it up. Silas against Bradley. Caney against Frazier. Barnett and White squared off into the corner to Bradley. Silas on him, and Bradley misses the shot. Tipped by Silas. He controls. Ahead to JoJo. Nice play by White. British shot.
Now, that's the stuff the Celtics have to keep doing. They're running down and taking a shot.
Boston back on top at 3:20 to go, first half.
And the way they run, if they go and take a shot like that, which may not look like a good shot, but they hit the offensive boards very well off of the run.
JoJo now 4 out of 9 from the field, 10 points. Frazier working one-on-one. It goes inside on a quick pass to Dick Barnett. Barnett against JoJo, can't get it.
24-second violation.
And 24-second violation by New York. Take another look at this play by White as he realized he might lose the ball, just tipped it over the head of Barnett and then popped it in. Checking the lineups as we have 2:41 to play first half. It's Bradley, Barnett, Willis Reed, Jerry Lucas for New York. And we'll wait and see if Frazier comes back, who Walter not having that good a ball game so far today. But then Walter's the kind of a guy that'll coast along and then pow, pow, pow.
You know, I think Walter is highly competitive, and in a game like this, it must be very difficult for him because he believes they can beat the Celtics at top strength. And with John Havlicek out, he has to let up a little. And when he lets up a little, it shows because of the style. And when he's intense, he can turn the whole game around. And he's one of the few guards. There are only, I think, about maybe 4 or 5 guards in history of the NBA that can control the tempo of a game as much as he can.
He has 3 to make 2. As he made the first one, missed the second. He has 7 points. He's 3 out of 8 from the field, 3 rebounds, stole the ball twice. Now, that's a pretty good ball game for a lot of folks, but for Walt Frazier, it is not particularly a good ball game. But as I said, look out when the going gets tough. 38-38, and Frazier missing 2 out of the 3. Boston brings it up slowly. Oh, look inside at that Nelson and Bradley. Look at them go at it. Nelson going down.
What Bradley did was move out of the way, and Nelson almost broke it.
That's exactly right. Bradley just stepped back, and Nelson went kerplunk. Take a look at it here. Watch him now. See him on the right side of your screen. Look, and then Bradley steps back, and Nelson goes right down in the seat of his britches. 3 fouls on Bradley, and Bill leaves the ball game.
That's easy to move out of the way.
Busher comes back. Cowens now. Nelson and DeBuscher. Cowens missed it. Knocked it out of bounds. New York's ball.
Hey, he wasn't like a hustle there. He was out. He's digging.
Barnett lobs it in to Reed.
Now, what's happening with all the substitutes out there, especially with New York, they're playing with different combinations today because they're injured to Monroe. It's very difficult because the timing is so important. And these guys have not played together that much.
Look out for that fella Barnett when he gets it going. White answers. Beautiful shot by JoJo from one of his favorite spots on the floor. And we're tied at 40. 5 times the game's been, 4 times the game's been tied. Barnett again. This is an air ball, and it's cleared out by Silas. JoJo. Boston leads it by 2. We're at 1:20 to go, first half. White with 14 points, 6 out of 11 from the field. He's hit his last 3.
Now, I see a situation like this, the Knicks are not taking advantage of Boston.
Lucas looking at the 24-second clock with 3 remaining, forced it, didn't get it close. We got a foul called here against Lucas, I believe. Jerry's the one hollering about it.
Oh, Dick Barnett, I believe.
Barnett.
I think he got him on the JoJo on the drive. That's a slow whistle.
First foul on Barnett. That's 14 fouls on New York. First in the 2-minute period, and the 42-40 Boston lead. Take a look at it here. There's Barnett. See him push him right there. Barnett leaves, and Bibby comes back for New York, and JoJo White with 6 to 9 points against the Knicks. Friday night, JoJo had only 10. Ricochets it through there.
Well, the Knickerbockers have not taken advantage of the fact that John Havlicek is not playing. And it's getting to situations like this. Now, Boston has the lead. If they get the lead any bigger, it'll be tough because they become inspired even more.
Right. JoJo had 10 points in the fourth quarter as Cowens steals it for Boston. And the Celtics jump out to a 6-point lead.
And the Knicks are playing as careless as I've seen them play all year.
Feed it to Lucas against Nelson. Here's Reed. Jerry Lucas outside. Cheney knocks it down on his foot. Take another look. See Cheney, number 12. Too much contact. And on Cheney, that is his second personal foul.
Jerry Lucas on the line.
Lucas on the line. Going to the bucket, 3 to make 2. 5 points. Boston lead at 46-41 and 22 seconds to play in the first half. Now Boston leads by 4.
Now what the fellas are doing is that in compensating for the loss of John Havlicek, they are playing much better defense than they normally would play.
I'd say so.
And a lot of New York turnovers are caused by the good defense.
5 seconds. White hits it. JoJo having a big first half. Henry Bibby cannot control JoJo. And the half is over. So at halftime, the Boston Celtics, starting slow, hold a 6-point lead, 48-40.
The Knicks did come back to win that game in double overtime, 117 to 110. They won the series in 7 games and went on to beat the Lakers for the 73 championship. Oregon Ron Lee was part of a team called the Kamikaze Kids. And when he crashed the NBA, he played with the same reckless abandon, getting acquainted with the fans as he dove into the front row. Talk about a take-charge player. No one took more charges than the Bulls' Jerry Sloan, who once even took one from Wilt Chamberlain. Was he crazy? He epitomized the term hard-nosed, teaming up with Norm Van Leer to form the most physical backcourt of the decade. The Bullets had the feisty Mike Reardon. Early in his career, Mike had the dubious role of being sent into the game just to give an intentional foul to the other team. And his tenacious play provided a spark on the great Bullet teams of the 70s. One player who crossed paths with Dave Cowens was Ricky Sobers. He was a rookie for the Suns in 1976, the year they lost to Boston in the finals. In '79, Sobers was traded to the Bulls, where he felt right at home because his coach was a fiery Jerry Sloan. Then there was Houston's Mike Newland, one of the team's leaders, not only in scoring, but also in diving for loose balls.
That is a play and a hustle play that you'll ever see in basketball.
Talk about a hard-nosed performer.